Hey everyone, welcome to the Alice beginner breakdown video for King of Fighters 14. This video I'm going to show you the basics on how to play this character. That way you can get right into the game, start bringing up your friends. If this is your first time watching a beginner breakdown video, this video series is intended more for beginner players and anybody who's bad at learning a new character. And with that in mind, let's get started. As always, let's go over 4 normals first. Here's light punch, light kick, heavy punch, and heavy kick. Light punch is really stubby, however it does not whiff on crouchers. Surprisingly, it has really limited range though. It is a mid, so it can be blocked crouching or standing, and you can super cancel it. It's a little bit negative on block though. And then light kick moves her forward a little bit. It's hard to tell, but she does move forward a little bit. It has a really good range. It does not whiff on crouchers, so it can be blocked crouching or standing, and you can super cancel it. It's a pretty good all-around poke. It's really close to even on block, so you're safe after you throw that out. And then heavy punch is really stubby as well. That does whiff on crouchers. See right there. It can be blocked crouching or standing, and you can super cancel it. It is a little bit negative on block, but it does push back a lot. So it does have that going for it. And then heavy kick has really good range. She does move forward. It does not whiff on crouchers. So you can throw that out there and it can be blocked both crouching and standing. It is only slightly negative on block as well, and you can super cancel it if you need to. Alright, next we got close normals. Here's light punch, light kick, heavy punch, and heavy kick. So light punch is pretty standard. It can be blocked crouching or standing. This elbow right here. It's slightly plus on block, and you can super and special cancel it into whatever you need. It's a pretty standard button. Light kick is pretty negative on block. It's punishable negative. So it's not only is it punishable, it doesn't push back very far, as you see. So if you just throw it out there and the opponent blocks it, they can definitely punish you. It's pretty easy. They could like mash auto combo and punish you. You can super and special cancel it as well. So it does have that going for it. That was not the right button. So you can super special cancel close light kick. You can do it on the first hit, and you can even wait until the second hit if you wanted to. You definitely want to cancel into something to make it safer though. A lot of her special moves aren't very safe though, and it can be blocked both crouching and standing. And then heavy punch is super and special cancelable. It can be blocked standing or crouching. You can get whatever you want off of that. It is a little negative on. It's actually pretty negative on block. So even though it does push back like that far, if the person has something that goes horizontally pretty quickly, it can definitely punish that. So you definitely want to be canceling that into something, at the very least. And then a close heavy kick is negative. It's a little negative, but it does push back, so I don't think you can punish it really. So I don't think it's that negative, and you can super and special cancel that as well into whatever you need, and it can be blocked both crouching and standing. And Alice has something that's kind of unique from a distance. Her far light punch can be comboed into her far light kick, like that, and that'll combo. I mean, the big issue is that far light punch is really stubby. But yeah, you could, if you're quick enough, you could do you can go into super from there if you wanted to as well, because that far light kick is super cancelable, like I said. Next, let's go over crouching normals. Here's light punch, light kick, heavy punch, and heavy kick. So crouching light punch is slightly plus on block. It's really stubby though. Has really limited range. It won't whiff on anybody. It can be blocked crouching or standing, so it's not a real low. And you can super and special cancel into whatever you need to. Then crouching light kick has more range than crouching light punch. It can make comboing into light punch a little tricky. Like if you do a little too slow, it can just whiff, just because the opponent is too far and this is so stubby. So if you're gonna be going into light punch from 2 crouching light kicks, I have to be pretty quick about it if you want to special cancel that. So you'll be doing stuff like that a lot. But yeah, it has better range. It's a real low, and you can special and super cancel it. And crouching heavy punch is pretty negative on block. Like you can punish it. It does push back a little bit though. It pushes back, about that far on block. Yeah, you can special and super cancel it into whatever you need. You probably won't be throwing it out raw next to them, but it's a pretty okay anti-air. So it does have the correct hitbox for that, so you could definitely use it for that. Then crouching heavy kick is pretty negative. It's a little negative on block, but it does push back quite a bit. So if you don't cancel it, you are negative, and the opponent can run in on you, but it does push back, so they probably can't punish you. It looks like it has good range, but it's a little deceptive. It's not like right at her foot. It's maybe about where her ankle is. And you can super and special cancel it to try to make it a little safer. But like I said before, a lot of her special moves aren't very safe. So you probably won't be canceling into super, because supers are even more unsafe on like whiff. You could try, if you wanted to, like go into overhead from that. But if you're too far, like it'll just whiff like that. So if you're like throwing it in a little deep, you could cancel into overhead at least. So next, let's go with your jumping normals. Your light punch, light kick, heavy punch, and heavy kick. They're all pretty standard. You can go into whatever you need to off of them as long as you time it right. So you don't have to worry about that too much. Her heavy kick is her cross up button. It's the easiest one to cross up with. Takes a little bit of practice to get used to it though, and it will work on crouches as well. You can short hop with it as well. And then her jumping light kick and heavy punch are not bad air dairs if you press them early enough. So like hit that does heavy punch, and then you can press light kick pretty early as well in your jump arc, and it's pretty active. So they're not bad for that. And then her jumping blowback attack, which is done by hitting heavy punch and heavy kick in the air. This right here. So it is positive on block, like all of them. It has that going for it. So you can start your offense. But the problem is, because of the angle, it will whiff a lot on crouchers. So if you're jumping in, they're crouching. I don't think you can really land it. And then it's because of that, it's a really terrible short hop button as well. It'll just always whiff. You can use it as an air to air though, if you hit it out early enough and you time it right. Kind of like that, and then you blow them back towards the corner, and you can try, doing some Alice pressure on your opponent by doing that. Get some space. Let's go over command normals next. She has one. It's forward and light kick. This right here. So that is an overhead. It goes pretty far, as you see. It's not right at her foot, but it doesn't matter. It's still really far. It does a decent amount of damage for an overhead. So if they're, guarding low, you could always open them up with that. You don't get anything off of it raw other than super. So if you want to commit to it, you could. I mean, you are wasting a bar, and that's a pretty big commitment. You have to kind of know that they're blocking low. It's not a bad max mode button to cancel into. So if you want to do something like kind of like that and begin your max mode combo, you could open them up like that. You'll probably be comboing into it a lot. It does have good pushback on it, as you see right there, making it hard to punish. It's only a little negative, I believe. You could definitely combo into it to make things a little safer. And then go into the correct special move so it all combos. And there's enough hit stun on it that things like that charge attack will land, because normally you can't get that charge attack off of light attacks. Only it's things with a lot of hit stun on it. If you do combo into that overhead, it does lose its low property. So if they're guarding and you go like try comboing into it, it's not going to work. Next, let's go over her blowback attack. It's done by hitting heavy punch and heavy kick while you're on the ground. It's this right here. It goes pretty far forward. It's pretty solid range. It's only a little bit negative on block, just slightly. So it does have that going for it. It's pretty okay because of that. It can be blocked both crouching or standing, and you can cancel it if you need to into anything to try to make it safer. But a lot of our special moves aren't very safe. So you probably just want to throw it out there and block afterwards. There's not a lot you can get off of it. You can't even get like EX super. It doesn't go that far. It doesn't go far enough unless they're already kind of in the corner. But that's true for pretty much all the characters in the game, right? So it's nothing special. Let's quickly go over throws. Forward throw, not a hard knockdown, pushes them back a little bit far, and then back throw pushes them back almost full screen. I mean, these are assuming that they quick recover. And it is not a hard knockdown either, so she gets no hard knockdowns on either of her throws. Let's go over special moves next. She has forward, down, down, forward, and kick. This right here, I'm going to be calling it uppercut a lot, even though it's a flying knee. So that was a light kick version. It's 2 hits. It is a hard knockdown. Heavy kick does a little bit more damage. The angles are a little different too. That's the light kick angle, and the heavy kick angle goes a little bit further. And the EX one is also hard knockdown and does the most damage. This is kind of a basic combo ender you could use. You do something and then you go into that because it's pretty quick on startup. You can go into it. You can even go into the heavy kick version of it from her buttons. Same, you can even combo into it from her light buttons, and that's true for all 3 versions of that flying uppercut knee. They're all pretty punishable on block, so you can use it as an anti-air as well. The light kick version you probably don't want to use as an anti-air because you only get a little bit of damage off of anti-air. So if you trade, that trade probably won't be in your favor because you don't get the follow-up really in most circumstances. But if you use the heavy kick one, you do get the follow-up in a lot of angles. The EX one does have a little bit of invulnerability on it, so it can go through some things. It can't, I mean, don't go crazy. It's not going to go through like something that's super active, but if there's something that's that has a gap in its pressure, if you time it right, you can go through it with something like that. And you could use it on a wake up if you think the opponent is going to try to pressure, you can get up off the ground with that. Next special move she has is cortical forward plus punch. This shoulder attack, this flying elbow right there. That was a light punch version, goes that far. Heavy punch version goes even further. And then the EX one goes about the same distance. They do more damage the higher you go up, so basically light punch does the least and EX does the most. The normal ones have 2 follow-ups. The EX one has no follow-ups. You just get a full animation like that. The follow-ups that you can do for either light punch or heavy punch version is either forward and punch or forward and kick. So if you just do the elbow part by itself, don't do that. Cancel it into something, or do one of the follow-ups because she has that little clumsy animation right there. You can hit her afterwards pretty easily on hit or block. So you definitely want to be doing the follow-ups. You can neutral jump it too if you get predictable with it. If you wanted to, you could super cancel just the elbow part, kind of like that. So if you hit forward and light punch off of the elbow, you get that little like shoulder tackle. That is really close to even on block, so it's one of her safest options for like a block string. But anyway, and you can super cancel that second hit, and you can cancel into whatever super you want, even Climax super. And then the kick follow-up, that like Blanca ball looking thing. So if you don't hit any button at all, she'll do like that animation. But at any point, you can just hit anything or move backwards and it'll cancel that animation. It's not like you're stuck there. That Blanca ball, we'll just call it, can be punished. Like if like the opponent blocks it and you commit to the full thing, they could like throw a really quick projectile out at you and hit you. At the very least, they can do something like that, run in on you and start some pressure. And also never do that with your back in the corner, because they can run up and hit you. But the EX one, on the other hand, the EX one is pretty safe though. It's hard to punish. It sends you back flying. It sends the opponent forward quite a bit, even if your back is in the corner. There's nothing tricky about any of the elbows. They can all be blocked, crouching, or standing. If you want to combo into any of them, you have to combo into something that has a lot of hit stun on it. Kind of like her heavy buttons. If you try doing it from her light buttons, it's just not going to work. It has too much startup. Next special move she has is cortical back and then punch, and you can do that 3 times for a sequence. It'll look like this. Like that, and that third hit is a hard knockdown. That was a light punch version. Heavy punch version looks the same, it just does a little bit more damage and there's a little bit more range on the strikes. Like that's the light punch version, and the heavy punch version goes forward a little bit more. They're all pretty punishable, even the light punch one. I think the light punch one is a little negative, might not be punishable, but as long as you do more inputs in the sequence, it becomes more punishable for sure. And then the heavy punch version is punishable right away. Like that's really negative, and then the second one is super negative, and then the third one is even more negative. And the third hit of that sequence for both of them is not an overhead, even though it looked like it could be. The safest one is the EX one. It's only a little bit negative, so definitely be blocking afterwards if they block it. It also gives you the most options afterwards, so if like you hit them with it, you can like hit them afterwards out of the air. You can even do like super afterwards and juggle them. If you wanted to, you can super cancel them as well. Just don't wait. You can't do it on the third hit though, because they're on the third hit, they're on the ground, so it's not going to work. So you want to do it on the first or the. That's an example of when not to do it. So you want to do it on like the first or the second hit. Yeah, something like that. So you can super cancel that, and you can go to Climax super as well. So we have next special move is cortical back plus kick in the air. This dive kick right there. Yeah, so that was a light kick version of it. it goes about that far, and there's a heavy kick version of it, goes a little bit further, and then the EX one goes about the same distance. Alright, so these moves, and if you whiff it completely, you do have that animation. You have to sit through the whole thing, so don't go whiffing these. Make sure, even if they block it, they're not great actually, as we'll go get into in a sec. Yeah, these moves aren't great. You don't really get anything off of them. They blow them back really far if you do land it. You can Tiger Knee them if you know how to do that and get it pretty low to the ground. But even then, the normal ones are pretty negative on block, which kind of sucks. They're pretty punishable. And then the only one that's kind of okay is the EX one, and it does knock them back like the other ones. If they're in the corner, they're pretty high up and you can juggle them. Yeah, you just have to time it right, and they have to be high up enough. You can get super off of it. You can also Tiger Knee it as well to get it low to the ground. Even the EX one is pretty unsafe on block. The only time where the EX one is good is if you're right next to them and you Tiger Knee it, and you get it that low, in which case it's very slightly plus. That's really all that move has going for it, is the EX1 Tiger Knee is slightly plus. Let's go over supers next. She has cortical forward twice and then kick. And this right here. Let me show you what that looks like when it hits. Yeah, to sit through that whole I'm so dizzy animation. You get it? She's really clumsy. Anyways, here's the cortical forward one. Surprisingly, she does not get dizzy during that or tired. And let me show you the EX version of the kick one that I forgot. Yep, still really dizzy. So yeah, because of that, don't go getting these blocked. They have a billion years to hit you with something because of that really long animation at the end. And there's the EX version of the punch one. And then her Climax super is half circle back twice, and then both punches. Yep. Clumsy girl. So if you wanted to cancel one super into the other, what you could do is you want to go into the punch super. You want to go from the punch one to the kick one. So it'll look like that. You don't really get a lot of bang for your buck canceling supers into another super with Alice. You could wait until the third hit right there, which is like the last point you can super cancel it, but it'll just whiff. And if you want to cancel either of those into Climax super, you want to do, I mean, both of them work honestly. The kick one might be the easier one. So you could do it that way. You could do it the other way as well. You just have to do it before she flies up in the air. So there you go. That's kind of how you do it. The same rules apply when you're doing it from their EX ones. You're canceling it pretty much right away. Otherwise she's in the air and you can't do any of your supers or Climax supers in the air. You don't really get a lot of bang for your maximum meter buck with Alice. At least when it comes to, you know, canceling her supers. Then next will be combos to start off with. From up close, like any of her heavy buttons into a special move, that's the obvious, right? So you can go into like, you know, her knee, which is not bad. If you're doing a heavy button, you could, you know, do that sequence right there. I would probably suggest doing the elbow into the punch follow up. That way you're relatively safe when you do it, if you commit to the whole thing. And then if you see that it hit, you can try to super cancel it. That's not a bad way to start. And then if you wanted to complicate it a little bit more, you could add in forward and light kick into that sequence. And then you have a little bit more time, you know, to confirm, make sure that hit. You know, and then, you know, cancel that stuff. Go into elbow super, go into, you know, whatever you want off of that. And then from low, I would use like the simple stuff, like light kick, light punch into uppercut right there, like that. If you're quick enough, you can get 2 light kicks, kind of like that. You could do that. So I would kind of start off with some of those basic concepts, and of course review the special moves section. That way you know what each of the special moves do and how you can cancel them into other special moves or get more damage off of them. See what your options are. Alright everyone, thanks for watching that Alice Beginner breakdown video. Hopefully you end up seeing this version of the video. Second take had some weird capture card stuff that, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm not sure why the my video ended up looking so muddy. Maybe the way it was rendering. Regardless, I somehow lost that footage. I think I accidentally deleted it. Of all the things that I could have deleted, I deleted that one video. I have all the other ones still, you know, archived somewhere on a portable hard drive. But damn. Alright, but anyway, quick time to chill. If you enjoyed this episode, found something useful in it, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Seeing those subscribers definitely does motivate me to keep putting these out. Of course, I'm not being held hostage, so I'll still keep making them regardless. And then with that in mind, let's go to member select. I'm not sure where to go from here. So I guess we'll see. Let's see what's up here. So some of the teams I'm leaning on, like maybe team... It's not Team Korea anymore, is it? It's... Yeah, she's Vietnamese, I think. Team Kim, yeah, Team Kim. Used to be called Team Korea. Maybe one of these. I like Kim. He's cool. And then I play Luong, so I'm cool with that. Who else is there? Maybe Team Ikari Warriors. I like that team, except for this guy. I'm not a big fan of him, especially in this game. Always play Leona a lot, so I wouldn't mind that. This team doesn't seem too bad either, just because this character is really good. She seems pretty simple. Seems like a character that might benefit new players. She seems kind of simple too. I think I heard she's really good too. So that might not be too bad. I'll tell you what team I don't really want to do. Team Mexico. Except for T-Zog, this guy's cool. But, oh boy. I mean, I like Ramon Ceviche. He's pretty cool. Angel's whatever. What I heard back in the day, I heard she had like the People's Elbow, and I'm like a big fan of Mr. Dwayne Johnson. So I was like, oh, she has the People's Elbow. Let me check her out. I popped open her move list in training mode and looked at that big long list of just like all command normals and sequences, and I said, fuck that, and then I just went back to character select. So I've been putting off this team, but maybe I should just rip the band-aid off quick. Also, Ramon's pretty goofy to play as too. We'll find out, I guess. I'll think about it. So yeah, hopefully this is the take that you get to see for this video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.